Hello, Taylor, and welcome back to the Crypto Chronicle Podcast for the date of 19th of March, 2024.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We had a 2-week hiatus in which a lot happened, Taylor.
And it's pretty boring, wasn't it?
Pretty boring, but first things first. I did mine terribly, but
yeah, mine hit the mic. Sorry, everyone.
We did promise a few poppers for an all-time high that we made. I think it was like 12 to 24 hours after our last podcast, unfortunately. So let's call that on the, I don't know when it was actually made. It was made on the 6th of March. So the prior all-time high was 69,200, as we all knew, 2021. I think we went as high as 74,000-ish.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
When we went past it. It was quite the journey, wasn't it? Quite the journey.
Been a good journey.
15,000. I think I remember... You know, Taylor started working here in April or May of 2022, and we were at 40,000 Bitcoin, and then Do Kwon rugged him. And then we were in the depths of the bear market. And, you know, I remember Taylor putting in a cheeky little order at $15,500 for Bitcoin. And
thank you, Mr. Biddy.
It's been quite a ride, going from 15,000, running it all the way back to all-time high. So well done to those people that did stick through the bear market.
Hey, if you were in the trading academy and you were to the buy orders, 17, 18, 20.
Particularly congratulations to those trading academy members that did accurately and efficiently dollar cost average, which we always recommend on this podcast.
Yep.
And they've got, you know, Bitcoin, Solana, Fetch AI, Rune, you name it. All your favorites, the Trading Academy have from very, very, very low prices.
A few 1,000% altcoins.
Oh, yeah. And they went through the trenches to get there. So well done on to Trading Academy, but more so everyone else on getting to the all-time high. And we're seeing a bit of a pullback now. There's a bit of blood in the markets.
I like it.
I like it too. We can touch on that in the technical analysis and miner section of it. But for now, whilst we are on the mining side, we will add to the Bitcoin achieving an all-time high. The fees was the second highest recorded day ever.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I think mine's stuff too.
My popper had premature. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Thank you.
There we go. But it hit 76 million, I think, for the day, which was the second highest to the prior ATH being achieved, in which we put the highest amount of fees generated.
Yeah.
Obviously, for those miners, they already know this, but for those that don't, obviously when the price of Bitcoin increases, as too will the fees, because the fees that have been paying it out in the blocks are obviously per the price. And, you know, as retail investment grows and, you know, Bitcoin network and blockchain gets a lot of traffic, that is when the fees will increase. So, I'm probably not surprised if we put in another all-time high soon, or we do another big rally that you'll probably see the highest day ever recorded. So well done to those miners as well, not just Trading Academy, but those that dollar cost averaged into miners. You know, people fail to see that it is very similar to buying tokens, in that your best point of reference in buying miners and is dollar cost averaging them into them in a bear market, and then, you know, your machines become worth more at the top of the market.
Hey, I did the maths the other day. I think my M50 that I bought, I think it was January, Feb last year, broke even already.
Yeah, bang. There you go. Alrighty. We've got a couple of little ETF news, but obviously this podcast has no longer running purely off ETF news like we did probably for the first 6 months.
Don't know what an ETF is anymore.
But Van Eck were good enough recently to reduce their fees to zero as a result of the all-time high being hit. For those that know, Van Eck was actually very supportive of Bitcoin from the get-go, and I think at the start they were dedicating all their, it was like 0.5% of their fees or whatever it was, a portion to the original Bitcoin developers at bitcoin.org, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they've had over like an 88% return in 2 months. They've acquired over 5,000 Bitcoin themselves. So Van Eck are going really well. Really positive.
Power of ETFs.
And good on them for removing their fee as well.
Yeah, nice guys.
That's like a TradeFi entity becoming a DeFi entity almost, not quite. But
actually, that was
yeah. They're trying to become decentralized. Good on them. Quickly on ETH, Grayscale and Coinbase met again. I think, you know, we've been talking about this a lot on this podcast in terms of Ethereum price action and the playbook for ETH, referencing Bitcoin and how everyone rushed to Bitcoin when it started to get likely in October that by January the SEC were going to accept the ETF and approve it. So a lot of the demand moved to Bitcoin. That's how we saw, you know, that entire rally. You know, a lot of alts didn't flourish besides certain narratives, I would say. And anyways, my assumptions there were that for ETH it would be very similar. But we're not seeing that right now in that ETH was $4,100 or $4,050, I'll say, last week. It's now below $3,400, or was briefly at least. Might have bounced a little bit to say, it's 3,411 per my phone right now. So, that's $600 down on Ethereum, which is a good, 20% plus, whatever it is.
I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, not too bad. It hasn't... the rest of the alts are being dragged, but I think it makes an interesting conversation to put Solana and ETH side by side, which we will do at the end of this fundamental piece, because obviously Solana, as opposed to Ethereum, has been going absolutely mental, and the whole world has gone crazy on meme coins. Penguins, frogs, dogs, cats. What else you saying?
I was going to say
Joe Budden. I saw Joe Budden.
Joe Budden,
Tramp, baby Tramp.
Think about every kind of dog, penguin, goat, and it's with scarf, with hat, with lollipop, everything. You know what I mean? It's this whiff phase is killing me.
The dog whiff hat. He's the greatest. Maybe because the day traders had a killer trade on that on Sunday. Traded a 50% move in 12 hours on Whiffy. So, hey, I'm not recommending you go and trade or buy meme coins. If you can apply the technical analysis correctly, you could find a nice winner. But moving on.
Hint, nudge is what I'm going to say to that one.
Hey, hat stays on. But quickly just on that as well, I think I will note, fundamentally, I think they're losing confidence in the ETH ETF being approved. As I've noted in market updates to my members, as long as BlackRock is confident, we are confident. So
BlackRock leads the market nowadays. As much as we always hated saying that was going to happen,
they are friends now.
Yeah, they live here too now.
Moving on to another little TradeFi. Man of the moment, the greatest Chad to ever live, and will go down as either the biggest idiot in history or the greatest investor to grace this earth, Michael Saylor.
Daddy.
The Trading Academy members and maybe some members of the Discord were privy to a absolute ripper track that I reckon Taylor's memorised by now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And Chad Saylor, we saw him in an interview. Was it on CNBC or something, Bloomberg, whatever it was. And he was referring to, he got asked from the interviewer, who was saying, Michael, people are going to liquidate this into fiat. Like, why are you saying all these silly things? And he said, well, people that liquidate their assets into fiat, do you know what we call them? We call them poor.
Poor people.
Poor people. Brokies.
It was so good.
It was fantastic. Oh, yeah. And so there was an absolute tune off the back of this, which I'll include in the written Crypto Chronicle, because if you haven't heard this yet, it's an absolute tune.
Been on repeat.
In saying that, he didn't just produce the song. Well, he didn't produce it, someone else did. And he didn't just give one of the greatest interviews ever. He also utilized the 800 million note offering to acquire additional Bitcoin. So obviously, Michael Saylor's essentially figured out the financial system in that he sells off his stock for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is then bought with the green button, pressy. That Bitcoin rises, therefore his stock values also rise, and he continues to just sell stocks and buy Bitcoin, and his company value. Yeah. Anyways, if you want to look into it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Has anyone done a Saylor meme coin yet?
Yeah, there's heaps of them. Yeah,
I have not seen one yet. Jeez.
I've seen everything. Saylor, Jerome Poole.
We should do one on the Saylor with hat.
Yeah, literally, Saylor with hat would do great.
Yeah.
I've had actually a few chats with people being like, when are we going to launch our own meme? But I feel like I'd just take over my whole life running
MS with hat.
MS with hat. Well, I did have little ASAP in here the other day and put a little IW hat on him.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll actually include that photo in the Crypto Chronicle, and you can see what the real IW with hat looks like. So. But I think Michael's done another one of these since I wrote this article last week. I think he's looking to do one this week or next. So he's a crazy man.
He'll be doing it definitely because it's dipping. He'll be buying purely.
Oh, yeah. But as we noted before and always, he dollar cost averages no matter the price. 30, 20, 50, 100, 60. Doesn't matter. He'll buy because he'll just, as he says exactly in his own words, I'm buying forever. And he's not lying. He's just going to keep buying it. Until he thinks Bitcoin runs the world. So, talking about another crazy man, but maybe a little crazier. Donald Trump, he is potentially becoming accepting of crypto, stating that, you know, he's noted the independent growth of it. He sometimes used it personally, but not too often. We know that he sold out and did his bloody NFTs on Ethereum. But,
horrific.
you know, I think this is a bit of a, I just want the yes vote from the youth and those that love crypto, because hey, it's a smart angle to take. You know, I reckon, like, I'm like convinced that if you are just like a normal person and like you're not too into politics, but you know, you're going to vote, but you're heavily into crypto, I feel like your political vote is purely crypto based.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like, I don't know if they're both aware of this, those Sleepy Joe and Crazy Donald, but yeah, I think they've got a lot of voters they can garner if they take a crypto angle.
But it's also like, as I said earlier, there's no real angle that it hurts. It's like saying, it's like someone coming out and being like, yeah, I love babies. Yeah. That doesn't really offend anyone. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I just more so mean, like, you know, with Democrats and how the SEC's handled a lot of this, people think that it's a lot of the Democrats pushing it and, you know, it's Gary under the thumb of Joe and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, yeah, he is going for that yes vote, but it'll be an interesting election come end of year.
God, I say that gets fired.
I hope neither of them make it to the election. Actually, it's pretty dark, sorry, but
wow.
I just like someone
open the curtains.
Just a bit normal to run maybe the world. That would be okay.
That is a very, very short list, let's be honest.
Yeah. What about you? What about Satoshi?
Yeah,
well, the only thing that Ethereum does have got, well, not going for it, but you know, this was actually part of my playbook for ETH at the moment, was the Denken upgrade, which, you know,
and this bloody upgrade is the worst name.
Yeah, well,
Denken.
Well, shout out Denken Wilson once again to the Denken Wilson upgrade. But you know, following the Shanghai upgrade in April of 2023, the Denken upgrade looks to integrate 9 Ethereum improvement proposals, combining enhancements to transaction management and consensus mechanisms. So essentially what this upgrade is for, it's actually for a significant boost to Ethereum layer 2s. And essentially it's just enhancing scalability. You know, as we all know, it gets to the bull market and you go to buy your favorite little shitcoin for $100 on Uniswap and the fees $120 and you're paying more in fees than you are investing in a token. This is just the downfall of Ethereum, unfortunately. Every year it seems like they're looking for fee reductions and then they say, oh, but it'll take effect in layer 2 this, and I'm not sure.
Do you think their whole thing is just like, we may as well just help layer 2s be better so that it comes through us regardless because we can't make Ethereum cheaper? Probably. Yeah.
I think they're just trying to, Ethereum's trying to integrate into TradeFi. That's what I think Vitalik wants to do. I don't think he cares too much about the decentralization part. He just wants, anyways. Yeah. That's a conversation for another time. But yeah, it's essentially, this is, like you said, it's just trying to notably reduce transaction costs for layer 2s. But, you know, gas fees will continue to remain high because, unfortunately, despite layer 2s being able to scale Ethereum, you can't just do something on a layer 2, like everything on a layer 2 that you want to do on Ethereum, such as buying an ERC20 token on Uniswap. Like, I can't just go there and say I want whatever coin it is on Ethereum and then go, oh, it's a $100 fee, I want to use ARB to buy it. I can't just do that, you know what I mean? Because the coin won't be on ARB chain. But... yes, it's very, very interesting at the moment. For those that probably live on crypto Twitter, you saw the great Elon finally give us a bit of Doge action, stating that I think he was probably just upset seeing all the other memes run. And he said, why are they trying to take my boy down? So, he reaffirmed his support for Dogecoin. I think he was at a Tesla event or something, and they said, you know, when are you going to start accepting Doge for Teslas? And I think he said, you know, we accept them still for the Tesla merchandise, and I'll continue to support Dogecoin. I think he said something like it's for the people's crypto or whatever, Dogecoin to the moon and blah, 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 you know, his usual crap. And Dogecoin pumped 20% instantly on it, of course. But, you know, the funny thing is, if you were back in 2020, 2021, his tweets on crypto used to move the market. Like it used to move Bitcoin 20%.
As soon as he goes like, oh, Bitcoin this, it's like bang, the roof's gone.
I think it's a bit different these days. You can even see that in Doge. You know, I feel like back then, if he'd said, we're going to do this with Doge and Dogecoin to the moon, Dogecoins, but it would have pumped 100%. You know, it only went from, let's say, 15 cents to 18 cents. So, you know, which is still incredible, mind you, don't get me wrong. Someone's tweet pumping something 20 to 30% is not normal. But, in the schemes of being the richest person on earth and his influence and what he used to be able to do, it's a bit different. good news for those people that believe Cal Cameron is the Satoshi Nakamoto of this world. Craig Wright has been found in a court of law as not Satoshi. Sorry for
we all knew that.
The vibrations are on my phone.
We all knew that though.
I think every single person in the world except Craig. Well, actually, Craig knew as well. Every single person in the world knew that Craig wasn't Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
So essentially, that COPA, which is the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, accused Wright, who's actually Australian, by the way, falsely claiming Nakamoto's identity since 2016. And essentially, they were successful. So, stuff you, Craig.
Yeah. I was going to say something and then I can't say on a podcast.
And just going back to Ethereum, and we're going back to conclude just our fundamental section here is that Solana, for those that don't know what's been happening, is that Solana has been going mental. I think on that deleveraging dump that we had, was that prior to us making yes, it was. So we would have spoken about it. I reckon I would have spoken about how Sol 2 weeks ago was $104. At one stage.
Yep.
For those that don't know, Sol is the third largest cryptocurrency on the planet with a market cap of close to $100 billion.
That was very good.
I think.
That was pretty good. I was waiting to be like, oh, did you know that it flipped BNB?
It flipped BNB. Flipped BNB. And I'm just trying to, so for those that don't know, is like, you know, I think for a lot of people in crypto as well, they get caught up in thinking I need to chase a $10 million market cap to 2x, 3x. The third largest cryptocurrency in the last 2 weeks just 2x'd. Solana just went from 104 and it was $208 last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was deserving, yes. We've seen it with FET, although FET's a top 70 coin, top 50-ish coin now. But the third largest cryptocurrency on the planet doubled in value in the last 2 weeks. You don't have to... If something is making the most amount of revenue... Everyone is flocking to the system. Yep. It's got the fastest transaction speed. It's got the cheapest transactions. Might be a good idea to buy it. Don't know.
Are you saying Solana to the moon?
Oh, well, I'm just saying I'm not selling it under $1,000.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! Not selling it under 1,000.
Look out.
To Wall Street. So, essentially what happened this week is over the weekend, Solana actually outpaced Ethereum. So, this is what I'm talking about. So, obviously we can attribute this to the... craze in meme coins, I reckon. Like it's very, definitely. Of course, that's where a lot of liquidity, transactional volume, and fees will come from. But you know, going back to what we were saying about ETH before, 99.9% of meme coin buyers are people buying with $10, $20, $50, $100. If you want to buy a meme coin and you want to buy your lottery ticket, as in these people are idiots, by the way, but if they want to buy their lottery ticket, do they want to buy it with an 8 cents transaction fee or a transaction fee that costs as much as they want to invest or 4 times as much as their $25 they want to invest? They're going to go to Solana and spend a couple of cents and get in on meme coin, ride it with that silly community, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's, you know, taking this into account, it makes sense why ETH is now doing so poorly in price action wise, because even as an ETH whale, or not an ETH whale because they're probably too hard to turn, but even one of my clients recently, or a friend of mine, heavy ETH man, had hundreds of $1,000s of ETH and, you know, kind of trying to do that playbook, and he bit the bullet and he just thought like Solana's just such a better chain. Like I've started using it. I've started like...
You've seen the difference.
Yeah, I'm like, why? He was like, why am I invested in this other one? And I'm using this, like, no wonder people are flocking to this and this is increasing price. Yeah. And he just rotated all his capital into Solana, and that was at, I think, $140. So this is last week, mind you. This isn't like...
6 months ago.
Yeah. He did this last week, and like, you know, ETH has come down $600 and Solana's gone up 50 to 60.
Congratulations to you, sir.
Yes, congratulations to him. So, yeah, it makes me worried for ETH a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have been around long enough to know that ETH always reminds everyone who's king. And I feel like just because ETH is ETH, that will happen.
Yeah.
It's just how the market works. It's just how Bitcoin remains king. You know, it's just...
Are we going to start looking at the Sol D charts?
Yeah, I think so. Probably Sol BTC. Well, I'm going to look at Sol ETH charts from now on.
Ooh, that's actually an interesting one, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, obviously, as I said, there was like memes like the Book of Meme, I think it was a recent one, that Slurf last night. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
There was a man who did a pre-sale. So all these pre-sales happening now, and pre-sales are disgusting, but conversation for another time again, but pre-sales are going all over Solana right now, and this dev created this meme coin called Slurf. Yeah, like I think it meant sloth, but with a F. Once again, this is the animals they're creating coins based on nothing. That's all it was. It's just a picture of a sloth. Sloth, I should say.
Because we know what a slurf is.
Yeah, picture of a sloth. And he raised $10 million in an ICO. So 10 people sent this random person on Twitter $10 million. And when he went to do the airdrop and airdrop them all the tokens worth $10 million, he accidentally burnt the entire 50% of the entire supply, which was allocated to the airdrop. So every single person that sent him money didn't get a token, but then the contract was announced, I think, so the coin just kept running and everyone just bought into it knowing that 50% of the supply burnt. And so it just ran from 0 to 500 million. Sorry. Last night. I don't know what it's at now. I can probably check.
That is just absolutely ludicrous.
Because it would be interesting just to see.
Anyone who's doing this stuff, please just go to the casino. It's a much more better way to do it.
Yeah. Really. Let's see.
You'll have more fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Debatable, but still.
That's the thing. Is there more fun in putting $50 into a meme coin and joining that community and posting memes and writing it, or putting $50 in Powerball? I know what one I'd choose, personally.
To be fair, I just
not recommending to invest in.
I just feel like at that point you may as well get a 50 and just light it on fire.
Slurf. How do you say?
And then you better move on quicker.
How much volume do you reckon this meme coin has had in the last 24 hours?
I'm afraid to ask or even put out a figure, to be really honest.
No guesses?
5 mil.
5 mil.
I'm just having a stab.
$2.5 billion
that is
in revenue. In volume on Solana for this one meme coin. 2.5 billion, I repeat. So if I...
That is just like... who?
If I just find... let me just type in like another popular...
No wonder Solana's price is jumping. Think of the bloody fees on it. Even at 10 cents a pop.
So I think, yeah. So that's what this is about. So... obviously, Solana surpassed...
So wait, what price was it, and then what price is it now? I'm just trying to figure out what price was it, and then what price is it now?
Slurf? Or
yeah, Slurf, yeah.
Oh, it was 0, and then its price is like 70 cents now, but its market cap is 500 million. Right. So for those that for instance, its market cap's almost 400 million. So for instance, within 24 hours, it acquired half the market cap of Prime. Let's just say that.
That's just nuts. For something that has absolutely, well, from what I can gather, no utility whatsoever.
No. But that's the power of crypto and the power of community and the power of degenerates.
I love degens.
Yeah, me too. Me too. We couldn't be here without them. But that's that. That's the news across the week. I'll post all the articles as usual in more detail in the written chronicle. Just for technical analysis, I think there's not too much to go over other than that we've put in a new all-time high. I think most people probably expect a continuation because that's the natural feeling you have when something like that happens. Personally, it makes sense somewhat that we're seeing a bit of a drop because people do need to take profits. That was 2 years of hell.
Anyone who bought at the top now,
and a lot of people did.
Sold,
yeah,
I think really.
And I think there's a lot of uncertainty macro-wise, which just makes people paper hand a lot easier. I've spoken at length on the open interest and people leveraging, trying to chase this because so many people are sidelined. People don't understand that if you miss Solana at $20, you watched it go to 50, you watched it go to 70. At that stage in the market, it was still so bearish that you're waiting for a pullback. Yeah. Your best option is to then try and leverage trade it to make it all back. It's the same on Phantom. It's the same on Bitcoin. It's the same on Ethereum. It's the same on all of them. So not necessarily are these pullback people just like spot selling their thing being, I'm so scared. It's literally them being stopped out of all their leverage longs that they put on everything trying to chase. But in saying that, we've had a really good funding reset, a really good OI reset. So I think we're around $65,000 now. I personally, this was my first level that I expected us to bounce from. We did on Sunday. I'm not opposed to us holding it and rebouncing, but I think I've said this in the past, but my general thinking here is as long as we don't fully close and bearishly close below $48,000, I'm pretty content with no matter kind of what happens. And what I mean by that is everything up until then is an opportunity to me. If we close below 48K, which was obviously the main point of control of the entire Bitcoin chart and the golden pocket retracement of the entire chart. The reason why I say that is because you've heard me say why I've been so bullish the whole time is because we've had bullish market structure.
Yeah.
If we break below 48K on the daily, weekly, that then becomes bearish market structure, in which you start forming low lows, blah, 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 lower highs, as opposed to high lows and high highs. Doesn't mean I'll panic sell everything. It just means I'll have to readjust my thinking of forward, of profit taking in particular, maybe de-risk a fair bit. The trading academy is already 300 to 400 units in profit. Prior to an alt season, it might be that we take back everything we invested. I think we invested 150-ish units, and it might be that we take 150 out of the market so we have a free hit from here on. There's just different type of strategies. We've had a few people in the Discord ask about them. Just as you can dollar cost average into the market, you can dollar cost average out. So it might be that your plan ahead from here is if you envision Bitcoin going 130,000, it might be 20% at 70,000, 20% at 90,000, 20% at 110, 130, 150, whatever it was. And that mitigates your ability to not miss out any profits, because I'm telling you guys right now, 90% of people round trip profits in a bull market because everyone expects expectations to go higher. And it's just the euphoric feeling that a human gets in their psychology. When you see things rise in price so much, you just want it to keep going. But in saying that, in the written chronicle, just TA-wise, I'll show how before 48K, we have 64K, 60K, and 57K, and 54K that are all 4 levels of local downside support that the market can dump into and bounce from, and you shouldn't be too worried about. I'll include some stuff for day trading and trading academy members in there too. And obviously, as usual, if this is something that interests you and you're looking to get into the market, then this is something you should call Taylor or myself about.
Sounds good.
But quickly mining just to conclude us.
Nah, nothing's really changed, to be really honest. Everything's about the same. It's just obviously the red last few days has caused obviously a little bit of drop, but other than that, it's all pretty much the same as last week, so no issues on there.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, done. I think we've almost had half an hour here. We'll wrap that up, and we won't miss out next week. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully, everything's a bit more positive by then. I know people are a bit bearish and negative now, but
what's your stab?
Could be an ugly week this week. Now I don't want to say that to scare everyone. No, I think we can range for a bit. People don't take that either. I reckon I'm going to go with 68,000.
Took the words out of my mouth. I'll go 67.5.
Okay. All right. Busted.
I'll put it this way. If anybody listens to it and they post their price into the Discord in the general chat, whoever gets closest, I'll give them 10% off mana.
Wow. That's huge.
So
Chefs is definitely going to listen to this.
Go for it. Let me know, man. And make sure you tag me, because then I'll keep track.
Yes, okay. Alrighty, thank you everyone for listening in. We'll be back next week, and see you then.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.